You're listening to the Online Entrepreneur Experience with Jarrett Jenny and John Olson, aka CHeeRz.
Welcome to the next episode. It's Jarrett Jenny, aka SWR. I'm John Olson, aka CHeeRz, baby. What do we got going on today, brother?
All right, so I wanted to talk a little bit about goal setting and working in silence, right? So The best part about being a human being is you're not a freaking tree. You're not stuck. You're not planted in one spot. You can move, but a lot of people live their lives thinking they are stuck. You know, if you're not happy with the situation you're in, whether that be work, whether it be a relationship, you can get out of those situations. The reason that most people don't believe it is because when you're an adult like we are, you got responsibilities, you got bills. Luckily, like, we don't have any kids, but that would be a huge one for a lot of people. Well, I have kids to take care of. I have my elderly mother who's sick, whatever the case is. They think that all of those things mean they can't make a change in their lives. And you just have to recognize that progress, even if it's small, is still progress. Like, I'm not saying go out and be irresponsible and just ignore your responsibilities, but if you have 1 hour a day to work on whatever it is you want to do, you better use that 1 hour and be caffeinated and motivated. And it might take you 5 years, like, who knows? But just because you can't drop everything you're doing to make your life better and do something else doesn't mean you can't work at it.
Absolutely. Like myself, like, I'm writing a book. That's like one step at a time. I know there's people out there that can make, like, they get motivated, they'll write a book in 3 weeks, but it's the iceberg effect.
Yeah.
They see the success on the top. Well, you don't see all the struggle underneath the water. It's like the Titanic. They were just going to ram that. Well, that turned out really good. Not to be a dick, but you gotta hustle your ass off whenever you can. I mean, put it this way: if what the heck's this statistic? If you work 40 hours a week, you have, if you cut out your sleep time, I think you have, what is it? I can't remember the exact number, but I think it's 72 hours of spare time.
Yep.
And most people spend that watching YouTube or, watching Netflix or whatever they do nowadays. I don't watch TV other than The Secret. I've said this before.
Yeah.
I will not sit down and submit myself to any outside influences. Like this book right here, Think and Grow Rich. There you go. And I need to buy a new one because mine fell apart. Like I said last time. I got it all taped together. It's kind of, my dad was looking at it this morning and he picked it up and it fell apart. He's like, "Oh my God." And I was like, man.
Like, it was already broken.
Yeah. But yeah, if you spend your time actually doing money-making activities, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, like train yourself to actually, or motivate yourself and train yourself to actually keep moving in the direction of your dreams and goals. Yeah. Because everybody consciously has them. They just don't push it into their subconscious mind, which means they think about it, but they don't get emotionally involved in it. And that's when they stop.
Yeah, you're giving it lip service at that point. And everyone always says, well, do it tomorrow. Well, that's the power of being present. I mean, if you talk to anybody who has like an anxiety disorder or OCD and they start freaking out, the first thing a doctor or psychologist is going to tell you is to be present. And if you can be present, because your anxiety, unless, you're falling off a cliff or something, it's never going to be about something that's right now. Normally they're in a crowd and they just go off and it's, what if this happens? What if this happens? Or before this happened, or before. If you can ground yourself and think about what you're doing right now, all that goes away. And people live with 1 foot in the past, 1 foot in the future, and that's not a way to get anything done. And I think my favorite example, and it's kind of depressing, but people live for the weekend, right? They live for the weekend. They live for Friday. and then they party up, they live it up, and then they have to reset on Monday. So how about instead of trying to escape what you're doing during the week and partying and making an ass of yourself all weekend, you work on what you want to get to.
Yeah, definitely. And it's living in the future is definitely gonna definitely gonna get you depressed, because you don't know what you're thinking about. Like you're like, oh, this is gonna happen on Monday, this is gonna happen on Tuesday. Well, what that is I'm going back to the
You're fine.
paradigm. I'm going back to the paradigm.
Yeah, do it.
Every time, your paradigm is going to hold you in the exact same position every time of your life. It doesn't matter what you do if you don't work on your paradigm. And what that is for all these viewers is your habitual habits, because everything is a habit. So if you don't create habits that actually allow you to ground yourself and actually move forward within your life, you're going to stay stuck, stagnant. You know, you come home, you crack a beer, you sit on the couch and you watch Netflix, and then your wife tells you, you got to go to bed. And you're like, yeah, I suppose it's about time to go to bed. So you shut the TV off, and then you repeat the same cycle over and over and over and over. Well, that's never going to get you the results you want.
No.
Because everybody wants to be rich. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody wants to be rich. Like, if I was like, Jarrett, you want $1 million? You're not going to say no. Nah, I'm good. I'm good doing what I'm doing. So to get to that $1 million mark, I'll just use this as an example. You have to start acting like a millionaire. The mindset, the paradigm, what actions are you taking? Because going to a McDonald's job, Target, Walmart, I don't know, I'm just spitting out some, names here, but you're never ever going to hit that $1 million mark.
Right.
Unless if you actually start acting like that person that you want to become and start following people that are millionaires.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense. And I think, going off of that, it's fine to have these kind of jobs. I mean, hell, I was at the Toyota dealership for 7 years, but when I made the conscious decision that, hey, I'm not happy here, I don't like it, I'm miserable, it's not like I could just quit that day and walk out, because if I did, you know what would happen? I'd have to get another job just like that to supplement that income. But no, I knew 14 months before I quit that I was going to quit. And I was like, okay, well, what do I want to do? And I was like, I want to do my YouTube. I want to do online marketing. And I still want to work on cars because I like cars. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to get that? And I was like, all right, first step, clean out the garage, because I'm fortunate enough to have a nice garage. And I was like, clean it out. Now I need a heat source. So I put a wood stove in. Wood stoves in, organized firewood. What else do I need? Okay, I need a scan tool. I need battery chargers. I need a lift. And I planned all of this stuff out over the course of a little over a year. And I just slowly chipped away at it. And there were days I didn't want to do it. I'd come home from work and I'd be like, God damn it, I don't want to work on this right now. I mean, it was so extensive. I had to put up a second garage and a second driveway on my property just to have more storage space. I had to do all these things, but I knew in my brain, and I was constantly forcing my brain to believe, like, yeah, this is taking a long time and these are little steps, but if I continue them, they're going to compound, and eventually I am going to be able to quit my job and actually do what I want to do. And too many people don't realize that slow and steady and small, minuscule progress is still progress. I mean, you're not failing, you're just taking baby steps.
Absolutely. And that's what you did. You started shifting your paradigm. What I've just been talking about. You're constantly moving in the direction of your goal. And that is the definition of success.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody tell you different. And I'm talking to the viewers right now.
Yeah.
The definition of success is knowing what you want and moving towards it constantly. And it doesn't matter if it takes you your entire life. You're successful for anybody that's actually moving in that direction.
Yeah. And
so,
You know, you're either getting better at something or you're getting worse. You know, the entire world, if you think of it, I won't get too much into this, but even from like a scientific level, everything is moving. I remember in 8th grade physics class, they were talking about atoms and how atoms, you know, make up all matter, everything. And the teacher grabbed my book and she held it in front of me. And it was a hardcover, you know, school book. And she's like, theoretically, if you sat here and did this for like thousands of years, there is a chance that everything could line up and your finger could go like through it. And she's like, it'll never happen because there's a millions and billions of atoms there. But she's like, it's not a solid thing. It's motion. And if stuff's always moving, you're either getting better at something, you're getting worse. So it's okay to have a little setback, but instead of completely giving up, maybe you still work on that thing that day that you really don't want to, or you're really not motivated. But instead of working on it for 2 hours, maybe you work on it for 15 minutes. That's still better than not working on it at all. Think of a car. All these people they do barn finds all the time. And these cars need a tremendous amount of work. Well, that's because the vehicle, it's sitting in a barn for 10 years, but it's not getting better and it's not staying the same. It's getting worse. Stuff is breaking down. Hoses get brittle. Plastic gets brittle. Fluids break down. And that car that was sitting there is not, while it looks like it's sitting and doing nothing and it's staying the same, it's not staying the same. It's getting worse. So bring that into your own life. If you're not getting better at something, you're getting worse.
Absolutely. It's a law of vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, even say I pass away today, you put me in the ground. Eventually, I'm not going to be this beautiful. Because everything is moving constantly, even when you pass away. And that's exactly like what you said. I can't like the barn find on the car. It's amazing analogy, you know, because I'm not gonna name names, but I got a buddy that he buys cars and then he just puts them away and doesn't do anything with them.
Yeah.
Puts them under cover. I'm like, those cars are gonna be useless in about 10 years.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing gonna be good on them. I mean, he's got a 69 Chevelle SS that's been sitting there for I think 15 years and he hasn't even lifted the cover.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wanted that car. I told him I was going to give him substantial amount of money to get it, but he won't do it. But he won't even let me look at it. So
right. And that's, you know, I have a similar buddy, and you'd know him, but not to name names. His dad's got an extensive car collection, and I can name some of the cars. He's got one 2011 Porsche Carrera 4S. He's got a 70s 930 turbo, which is worth like $360,000. He's got 2 Shelby Mustangs, vintage 60s and 70s, a GT 500 and a GT 350, and he has a Boss 302, right? And in the summertime, he drives them around. I mean, he takes care of them. They're in his shop, obviously, like they're not daily drivers, but people ask him, like, you're crazy. Why are you driving this Shelby? It's worth $200,000. And he's like, I buy them to enjoy them. And 2, it's good for the car. I can't just let it sit and rot away.
No.
But the same is true with your goals. You can't just think about something and never work on it. You gotta, even if it's minuscule, you gotta work at it every day and recognize that you can change your current situation. It just might not happen as soon as you would like it to.
Absolutely. That goes with your brain too.
Yeah.
That's why television is one of the, I don't want to knock TV, but it's one of the most useless things you can possibly do because your mind gets stagnant. It's like sitting in a garage.
Yeah.
It just breaks down. But I think we killed this one.
Yeah, you got us.
Absolutely. This has been the next episode with Jarrett Jenny, aka SWR. I'm John Olson, aka CHeeRz. We'll see you on the next episode.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning into the Online Entrepreneur Experience. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes that we're releasing and any of these amazing pieces of value that we're giving out. And if you could take the time out of your day and leave us a review, we'd be so grateful. We look forward to seeing you on that next episode.